because 2 worked, and then x squared plus 6x plus 11 is another factor. Finding all the factors means tell me what I could multiply back together to get this polynomial back. Does that make sense? I remember a lot of people actually found correctly that the solutions were 1, 2, and whatever in God's name you get when you run that through the quadratic formula, and I gave them full credit because they wound up working harder, as long as they got it right. Actually, I remember the first person who did that, I remember, good God, I've got to solve this now in order to see if they're right. But they did more work than they had to, and they didn't technically follow the directions. Does that make sense? I think most everybody did. I'm not sure anybody actually just did this, which was the answer I was looking for. Believe it or not, I remember writing this problem and thinking, this will make their lives easier. And I think there were like eyes in here or something.
You're a teacher. You're not supposed to make our lives easier.
Well, I was trying to make a test you could finish in a period. Okay, so that's polynomials in factored form. Any questions on that? Okay, I'm going to save this document up here, and I will post it on the website. That's the key. I guess I'd better change my tests next year.
Oh, your assignment or your thing from yesterday isn't on your website.
What I did on yesterday's not up yet? Sometimes it doesn't take when I hit publish. I need to double check it after every time I do. Okay, thank you. I'll make sure it is today, yeah?
When are all notes due?
Notes will be, obviously keep them to the final, because I want you to have them to study from. For those people who were not taking notes after I started posting them, you don't have to turn them in. I'm going to basically grab 2 separate grading scales. Participation in tests will count more for people who don't turn in notes, and notes will count for those who do. And I'm going to make sure that it doesn't hurt you either way. Okay? So turning in notes is optional. But if your test scores have been low and your participation's weak and you have taken good notes, turn them in. Okay? Next year I've got to come up with a new policy based on this stuff. It's my first year with the option of posting and using a projector. Okay.
But you kept telling us that we didn't have to take notes.
Right, exactly. Some people continued for their own, because they like learning that way, or it helped them. And I will happily collect those notes and work it in their grade in a positive manner.
What if you have some?
If you want to give them to me, I'll work them into your grade in a way that helps. Okay? I don't want either decision to hurt anybody. But
Like
yeah.
from the quarter?
Whole semester. Because I didn't start this in the 4th quarter, so. Okay, let's see. That was the exam for March, right?
Yeah.
And that's not on this one. Apparently this one's school. Let's see if I can. I didn't think we'd actually finish that one that quickly. You guys remembered synthetic and polynomial division very well. So, kudos. Let's see. That's there. Let me see if it's. Barbecue chicken with pineapple and no cheese. I never had it from Broadway, but I would happily try theirs. They would not get my business.
With pizza?
No, it's a continuation. Oh, I got a meeting this 3rd period.
I know.
No, that's not a bad idea.
So what is that?
Barbecue chicken with pineapple. No cheese at all. I'm allergic. You don't say you're allergic. Sometimes they put like Parmesan on it. I've ordered cheese-free pizzas where the menu said cheese-free pizza, and they bring it to me with Parmesan. I'm just like, are you people
Insane.
Yeah. Okay, now there's a test that I'm not finding right now that we did on factoring polynomials. I'll try and get it posted, or some new problems on it posted soon. Hopefully I emailed it to myself. I'll check. 16 January. I need to get more. I didn't get consistent with my. Okay, so here's the next concept, and I'll get something up for you to work on it. And I will. Okay. Yes, thank you. I'm not blinded.
Oh,
Sorry.
camera.
Oh, you can leave it on for this. Okay.
Wait, what time?
should arrive around 10:30. Okay, graphing polynomials. Graphing polynomials, and this graphing polynomials is where we first talked about.
Are you gonna put this on your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these will be up there. Okay, graphing polynomials. We did it a couple different ways. Again, if f of x equals, I'll tie this into what we were just doing, x minus a, x minus b, x minus c, and these are any three numbers. You can take some guesses about how this looks. Okay? One of the guesses, first off, what's going to be the degree of this polynomial? What's the biggest exponent going to be? 3, because it's going to be x cubed. This is once again going to be x cubed plus a bunch of other stuff. And in this case, since I use minus each time, it's going to be minus
A, B, C.
a times b times c. That's right. Now, if I wanted to talk about what this graph looked like, we talked about end behavior. End behavior was the touchdown. What do we call this? The puppet?
Marionette.
Marionette, that's right. Positive ballerina, negative ballerina. Does anyone remember how those all lined up?
No.
Okay, end behavior with a positive leading coefficient. What does positive leading coefficient mean?
Means the first coefficient is positive.
First coefficient, the one in front of the x cubed in this case, is positive. Yes, with a positive leading coefficient, if you have f of x equals x raised to some power plus whatever, if n is even, if we have an even power, if we have y equals x squared, y equals x to the fourth, y equals x to the 24th power, we have a touchdown. How do you remember this? What does a parabola look like? Yes.
Touchdown. Goal thing.
Yes.
Touchdown.
Thank you. Okay. If n is even, we have a touchdown. Okay. What if n is odd?
Then you don't have a touchdown.
What do you have?
You have a marionette.
Nope. Ballerina. Okay. We have a ballerina. If n is odd. Pardon? Now, ballerinas are like this. Touchdown is like this. Okay? If n is odd, we have a ballerina, and I distinguish between positive and negative ballerina. If we have a negative leading coefficient, this touchdown becomes a marionette, and this ballerina gets her arm switched. Okay? So if I look at this polynomial, where does it hit the x-axis? What numbers?
A, B, and C.
A, B, and C, whatever they are. Whatever those numbers are, it hits the x-axis at A, B, and C. And because it's cubed with a positive leading coefficient, it's going to be a ballerina. And that means from the last 0 over here, it's going to keep going up forever. And from the last 0, or x-intercept over here, it's going to go down forever.
Positive ballerina. What about B?
Well, here's where you got to think a little bit. Well, it's a little weirder than that. It's got to, if it's an intercept, it's going to go through, and then it's going to come back and hit the B, and then it's going to go back up.
So it's sort of like a tangent, but not really.
There's a little bit like a tangent in there. Yeah, these things can resemble trigonometric. There's a whole branch of calculus on creating polynomials that look like sine, cosine, and tangent. And it's actually how people used to get trigonometric values 100 years, not thousands, they weren't invented yet, hundreds of years ago before they had a TI-83. And how they could make the table is you could make a polynomial that looked something like a sine wave, and you could use it to approximate what the sign of a number was.
Is there a base? Is there a